Hi, this is Mark at learnhowtogarden.com, and in this second of our sort of occasional series of Mark's mum Betty drinks his wine at the table and thoughts on philosophical musings in the garden, we're going to talk about the third great influence on my gardening life after my two granddads. That's my great uncle Jack Beer. This is my memories of Jack Beer are smells, and by that, what I mean by smells, I mean fresh raspberries in the summer. I remember as a distinct smell. The smell of honey. We kept bees, and I remember getting honey.
Yeah.
And bizarrely, I remember the smell of warm chicken poo. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, warm chicken poo doesn't smell like manure. It has a sort of slightly warm ammonia-y smell, and it's very dry. And in chicken houses, as a small child, I used to be allowed to go and get eggs for my breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
As you open the egg box, sort of the smell came out, not of the egg box, but the chicken has this warm smell of chicken poo or sort of ammonia. So I associate scents with him as much as anything else.
Well, you should, because the house smelled of cooking.
Cooking? Is that because my great aunt was a cook?
Well, she was a cook, and she cooked for a major and his wife who lived in the big house.
They were retired, weren't they, from the Indian Army, I remember.
Yes,
if we go back that far, to not the last century, the century before, the 1800s, the major was born.
But she baked her own bread, and that was the smell that I remember.
The baking bread?
I
remember
yes,
warm
the baking.
bread.
And he had his own raspberry canes, and I can remember, you now live in Cornwall.
Mm.
Yeah, but this was Devon.
Devon, the next county.
And a Devonshire cream tea is quite different. Because
we don't want to start an argument on film, you know, you could start a war.
I'm just going to tell you.
It could be like the War of the Roses, only with pasties going on.
But you had baps.
Baps.
Which are bread rolls.
Not scones.
No, not scones. And Devonshire cream.
Not
and we
clotted.
had raspberry jam, which Marie made with her own raspberries. But we also had the raspberries fresh. Well, we had everything fresh.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I know you're a vegetarian.
I should point out, 36 years since I ate anything with a face, so it's quite a while I've been a vegetarian.
Yeah. You'd be about 2.
I don't know what's coming here, guys.
Yeah. And Jack would say, well, we're having chicken for dinner. Come on, Mark, choose your chicken. And
I think this is being made
up
to
take you down the garden and
you
you would choose which chicken.
We had for tea?
Yes.
Wonderful. So, as
and
well as the other
delicious.
So the other things I may have done in my life, chicken murdering is one of the ones I didn't know.
Yes.
So I chose sort of like the Saddam Hussein of chicken keeping I was.
Yes, you were.
Tremendous. I keep chickens now, mine die of old age.
No,
I keep chickens for the reason that I remembered that smell, and I remembered the fact that the eggs were yellower. And the cakes were always rich yellow, and I suppose it's the fresh eggs, isn't it? The yolk makes the difference.
It's distinctly different from the shop bought eggs.
Eggs, yeah. I mean, one of the things I noticed with mine when we cook, people always say they have terrible trouble with soufflés, and I have no trouble at all, and I don't think that, I have any magic with soufflés. It's just that absolutely fresh eggs.
Yeah.
There is not a problem making a soufflé, but the eggs you get, unless you're getting sort of free-range ones from your local sort of little farm or something, they could be 3 or 4 weeks old, and the sort of albinum, the white, isn't fresh enough to make the soufflé rise.
You can tell.
Yeah, I think you can. So I mean,
because you see, the yolk should should rise up, and the higher it comes up, that's the fresher.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's my version.
That's smooth. In that glass of wine, then. That's quite good, isn't it? So, and the other bits I remember about this garden, as you walked through it, it was quite. It used to intersperse flowers with its vegetables, hadn't it? it wasn't just a vegetable garden, like a sort of in serried rows. He sort of...
Mary liked flowers, so he would grow vegetables and flowers together.
Which is quite interesting, because there's a couple of... I mean, it's something I talk about, this sort of chaotic planting.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything like a new thought. There's just sort of a thought that comes back to you, or you rehash. And sort of in the back of my mind when I first started doing this, I remembered I'd seen it somewhere in my past, but I couldn't. And sort of you sitting here, you suddenly think that's where it was, walking down that long thin path to the allotment. And there were, you know, I remember there being sort of roses at the end of rows of raspberries, and things like that.
But you see, there's a method in that, because that brings the bees.
So you're attracting your pollinators.
Oh yes, and I always grow. I don't like flowers particularly.
Yeah, well, you've said before. Yeah, we know that you.
But I will grow just a few flowers in a pot, mainly marigold, French marigold. Like anything French, hence the wine.
The cheese.
But I grow those because I think they keep certain pests away from the plants.
So it's companion plant.
Yes, yes. And it also attracts some of the bees.
Yeah.
I like the bees.
I think we all need bees, don't we?
Oh,
Bees. I mean, and again, Jack had bees in his beehives. I remember, and being taught. I mean, I remember, again, probably only being 3, 4, perhaps as a small
very
child,
small.
standing, him saying, just watch, and watching the bees fly in a line between certain plants and back to the hive. And he said to me, you know, that what you're looking at is a sweet road. And I said, what? You know, and he said, what they're doing is getting the nectar and they're making the sweets. Because he used to make honey sweets for me, which I have to say, even now, after all these years, if I'm, again, pottering through France, they make honey sweets. And I still quite like them. And Benjamin, my youngest, would devour them. Yes, so does my son. Yes, I'm aware he does. In fact, we've just come back with a pile of them. Oh, so that's quite interesting, really.
But that was your very, very young childhood.
Yeah, my early memories of it. Well, we'll probably wrap that up here. That's just sort of that. If you've watched both of these, gives you an idea about a couple of my granddads. That's my granddad Compton and a couple of my granddads. My granddad Compton and Jack Beer is my great uncle. The other grandfather, my granddad McPhee, was we'll probably cover him in one more video, and he's the one probably had the most influence of all on me. So anyway, so that's Mark saying thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, hope you have a good time gardening.